Vlog again. I'm going to try and cut some things together because I'm travelling to the centre of the universe. I mean, the country. Meriden to you and me. I'm walking through, well, past a woodland here. There's a footpath next to it, and this would have all been woodland because this is an ancient woodland, and you can tell, well, you can't tell because this is all pine nonsense, but it's all been replanted in the last 40 years. But I actually found yesterday when I was doing some research on it that it was owned for 500 years by Bond's Hospital charity in Coventry. And it was divvied up between St Mary's and De Montfort in Leicester and some other people back in the day in medieval times. But now it's all sort of post-war pine that they wanted to quickly grow in case we had another war where we needed loads of wood. But there are some carriages, 2 carriages here stuck in this field, and there's some sleepers here. I've no idea what this was. These are concrete, these aren't wood, these are like, this was obviously an area for something, and these 2 are just in this field. I've absolutely no idea. I guess I couldn't find anything about them when I went home yesterday. I could find lots about this Birchley Hayes, but nothing about those carriages. But onwards we go to the centre of the country. Okay, so I'm walking through another small woodland, and it looks like there's a serious programme of tree planting. There's some reforestation going on over here on this side, which looks like, I don't know if they've felled anything, but it's a good idea because you can see why. There's bluebells on the floor, but you can see literally nothing else. There's no life. That's because of this horrible pine, quick growing pine, makes the soil acidic. So the biodiversity in a lot of our supposed ancient woodland, which is actually quite new, is dreadful. You can barely get anything other than ferns and the bluebells. And you need to thin out the layers of trees so you can get other trees to grow, and it looks like it's quite open over there. It's quite thick in here, and this is obviously very open because they're replanting. So this looks like a great little scheme actually. Not walked through here before. It's great. Here I am again. This behind me is the A45, a key artery between Northamptonshire and Birmingham. So, yeah, I never realised what this underpass. I've never walked through this particular underpass, so it's all new, all fun and games here on the Isolation Vlogs. Okay, I've made it to Meriden. I'm a bit out of the centre because I'm here to see St Lawrence Church, which is one of Godiva's churches. However, behind me, which you won't be able to see, but you never know, is Birmingham. You can see it in the distance. It's about 15, 20 miles away, and then Cov is over that way. So we are definitely in the centre. Well, sort of. So we haven't reached the end of our journey yet. However, I'm near a church building. This isn't the centre of England just yet, but this is St Lawrence in Meriden. And Godiva possibly founded this church 1,000 years ago. A lot of this, it's got Norman bits onwards again, like Forlongley Church. A lot of this has been remodelled over the years. There's a lot of 13th, 15th century stuff, and it was redone in the 19th century, as a lot of churches were. This is Anglican now, of course it wasn't originally, because it didn't exist. And onwards we go. Walking to the centre of England, I passed the Methodist church. That's a very modernist building, isn't it? The hall opened in 1956 and the church 1967 after a quick Google. What a little beaut! So, an ancient wayside cross has stood in the village for some 500 years, and by tradition it marks the centre of England. The cross was rebuilt on this site and the green was improved in celebration of the Festival of Britain. 1951. And here is that marker. The centre of England, although it's actually, I think it's something like 20 or 30 miles away, but that they believed it was the centre of England until about 2000, before Ordnance Survey actually had a look. But here we are. It was, it says underneath, prior to its re-erection, the cross was loaned as a centrepiece for the model village built in the Ideal Home exhibition, Olympia, London, during March 1952. So there you go. Loaned. But behind me, behind that pole, is a memorial to all cyclists that died in the war. There's a cyclist there. Well, it's just time for a post-war gem before I head back home. Look, the telephone exchange. Look at that beaut. No one agrees, I know, sorry.